follow-up from my last video where I spotted some sort of strange white uh, figure or subject or being in the background. And I had captured that. That was on my 1080p high def camera. And so I downloaded my 4K from my GoPro uh, in the same area. And the 4K, of course, is just head and shoulders above the 1080p. I wish I had the 4K, 10 years ago. Technology wasn't even available, or if it was available, it was so expensive. I mean, I remember that just 1080p used to be $3,000 for a camera. And now 4K you can get in a GoPro or Panasonic, one of the about five, six, maybe $700 for a good 4K. But it kind of reveals here that the quote white unknown being is actually sunlight. It's sunlight and shadows, and the resolution of the camera, and the movement of the camera. And I don't have any problem when I try to debunk my stuff, and on this in this case, it's just a matter of that's all it was. And here's me walking. This is the 4K. You can tell there's a huge difference. And actually, that I believe that right there is what the white being is. And it's just where the sun's kind of coming straight up and down and shining on that foliage. And then as you get further away, you can see here, sure does look like something, but in reality, it's just sunlight. Even in the 4K, it will look suspicious, but it's obviously that's not what it is. The 1080p doesn't show it. In the 1080p, it's hard to even see that. So I wanted to correct that, so everybody knows, that there wasn't a white Sasquatch back there. And so that's just the difference between a 1080. See, it's just all that is right there is just um, it's just sunlight. But sure didn't, go back to here. It sure didn't. In the 1080p, it sure did look good. There's one of them. Yeah, in 1080p, that's what it looked like. Big difference, huh? Or that, you could swear, well, that looks like he's got an arm out and yada, yada, yada. But nope, that's all it is. But one thing that I will say that I like, that this happened. I mean, it is what it is. It's when you're doing work like this, you got to debunk, you got to go back, you got to, that's why I have two cameras. But it also shows the validity of the 4K, that the 4K, is head and shoulders above 1080p. And so so when I do capture something on the 4K, it definitely has more credence because it's easier to see what's going on. And with the 4K, if you capture something, it's harder for it to be lights and shadows and pareidolia and all that because the 4K is clear and crisp and just a whole lot better. And I wanted to real quick because I have a 4K capture, and a couple years ago on that same trail, just a little bit back, there was something watching me from the foliage. This is a still capture from the 4K, and right here, right in there, there's Sasquatch, and like you got this limb, and it's been cut where they've trimmed. But right behind that limb, you've got right there's the right eye and the cheek and the eye, and you know, and I caught this in 4K. And if you watch right there, you can see the eye movement as he's right there. Really, It's kind of freaky. That's the eye right there, and you can see that eye's moving. He's watching. He's watching me from from all that thick foliage. There's a creek that runs right through here. He's on the other side of the creek. He's actually been over. Here a little bit later, he moves from here to up here. And I'll show that too. But it's just easier to do these captures from these 4 frames here where you can see the eye. Right there, you can see it moving. So I want to go back. And here's the close-up of the eye. And the other thing is, you notice on the 4K, when you blow it up, it's not near as bad as far as it doesn't blur as bad. So right there's that cut off limb. Right there's his eye. That's top of his head. And that's his brow and his right cheek. Right there's the eye. And you can, I did the little stabilization. So he's kind of squinting and opens his eye. He's moving a little bit. You can see there. That limb is going into his cheek. He moves, taking a breath or something, but that's before he, that's actually a couple frames before. I thought it interesting because he's leaned, there's his eye. He's got his head back and he leans, you know, that's like 3 or 4 frames. He leans forward. But you can, you may even have his eye closed at that point. I think he's just leaning back. He's back in the, staying in the shadows, and then he moves forward, and you got that eye movement. It's crazy. So, and the other one is right here. He was right here. I take a few more steps. He moves up here, and here he's got his head back, and then he moves forward enough that you can see both eyes. So let's kind of loop that. That's 2 frames. You can see here, see the foliage right there. And right here, watch what happens when he moves forward. He pushes it just a smidge. And I got close up there. So 4K helps, especially when you're dealing with trying, these guys are in thick foliage. I mean, I would, in the 1080p, this would all been a bunch of blurry blobs. Just wouldn't have, there's another, I've got him circled up here and he's in the square down here, but right there, I mean, that's, you know, like I said, the 4K right there would have never captured that 1080p. And so, eye and eye, and that same eye is the same eye that's down here. The eye's kind of in a slit mode, I think, because the sunlight's on it. So, I'm still getting used to Windows 11. There's a good one. You can see that eye's kind of a slit, just like it is here. It's a narrow slit. There you go. So anyway, let's see. I think I've got it blowed up where you can really see it. This one right here. There you go. Blowed up and lightened up. There he is. Let me blow him up. Eyes are slit like snake eyes. Sun's kind of shining in his eyes. My theory is they have a second set of lenses that close from side to side like a snake. But it's only a theory, but anecdotally, that's pretty good evidence. So there you go. 4K kind of comes through again and debunks one and helps us clarify others. So you guys take care out there, and until next time, God bless and see you later.